Hello. When speaking about women wearing pants, we found in the poskim four types of prohibitions. One of them is a machloket, it's a dispute, and that is the isur of lo yeh kli gever al isha, which means a woman is not allowed to wear men clothing. The Minchat Yitzchak and some other poskim write that pants are men clothing. Even if it's woman pants, which means it has a special design for women and it has a color that women wear and so on, still they say that the pants itself is such a cloth that's made for men, and therefore even if you change the shape and the color and everything around it, it still stays as men special clothes, and therefore that's restricted because of that. Some argue, for instance, Chacham Ovadia, Davnei Tzedek, there's few Sfarim that argue and say that if you see that it's women pants, there's no prohibition of lo yeh kli gever al isha, which means that you see in the look of the pants that it's women pants. Okay, but that's one. There's other prohibitions here as well. One is obviously modesty prohibition, which is something that pants are something that is not permitted also because of tzniut. Why? If it's tight pants, we don't need to explain. Of course, it tracks very much. But even if it's not tight pants, the poskim all bring that since it shows the separation of legs, it shows that there's one leg here and one leg there, even if it's baggy pants, it's wide pants, such a thing is not tsanua and it still can attract the eye, and therefore such a thing would be asur because of tzniut. Thirdly, there's a isur over here of dat yehudit. There's a special restriction Chamim made for a woman not to do something that is against the norm of the Jewish people. And since you see that throughout every religious circle women don't wear pants, that's not the norm, that's not what people do, and therefore such a thing would also be asur because of that isur. And fourth, it's obviously the minhag. It's similar to the third restriction. It's a minhag Israel, the minhag that's been throughout generations, not to wear pants, not to wear anything like that, but rather to wear either a skirt or a dress and make sure that the legs are not showing in that form. But one needs to pay attention when we're wearing a skirt or a dress that it's not short, that it shows actually the knees, because then it's even worse. Say the poskim Chacham Ovadia brings like this in Yabia Omer, it's even worse than the pants. Chacham Ovadia was asked about a school that the girls started wearing different things and that are not in the code of tzniut, and he was asked that they can only ask them to do one of the two. They're not going to wear regular skirts that under the knees and not the dresses. So therefore, they can either ask them to wear pants or to wear a short skirt. And he said that short skirt is definitely something that should be avoided, of course, because then the legs are showing, which is very attractive. So therefore, the only thing that's left is the pants. It's better to wear wide, baggy pants than to wear those shorter skirts. And that comes to teach us that pants are not as bad as the skirts, even though they're not permitted as well. But if there would be such a scenario that somebody would not listen and you'll have to choose one of the two, Chacham Ovadia holds that the pants would be the less worst case scenario that one should choose.